What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Talk with Flea. I know y'all wondering why I got the mask on. I got a special guest today, nigga. Straight off the Diddy Trail, the Punisher, nigga. My man Sharay. I didn't even know the nigga was from Harlem. He's gonna be doing an interview with me after our sponsor. You know who the fucking sponsor is, nigga. Let's get to it. Pink Horsepower. Fellas, if you're down and out, take a shot of Pink Horsepower. Go on and up and up. No need for the panicking. Pink Horsepower, leave you stiffer than a mannequin. Make sure you go get yours. Pink-horsepower.net. Now look, we know a lot of shit been going on with the Diddy trial, man. Baby oil, Astro Glide, cars been blowing up, people's doors been kicked in, witnesses being threatened. But there's been a lot of talk about the male sex workers that been hired. I ain't know one of these niggas was from Harlem, my nigga. Not just from Harlem, the nigga actually up the fucking block from my neighborhood. The nigga they call the Punisher, yeah. Let's get right into the interview. He's live here with me right now. Sharay, AKA the Punisher. What's good, bro? How you?
Yo, I'm good, man. You know, I can't complain. It's been a wild couple of weeks, but, you know, it is what it is. Pun intended.
Pun intended, pun intended, man. So look, before we get into any of the other shit, you know, when I reached out to do this interview, you was telling me that you from 139th and 7th and 8th?
Yo, Harlem? My whole life, man. Since 73. Since 73, bro.
Strivers Row.
Strivers Row.
Word, man.
2019.
You never came down to Lenox? You never came to the park or nothing?
Bro, every now and then, man, like I told you, I like super young. Like I balled with Big L, Ali Mo, I balled with Ali Mo. Wow. I told you McGruff was my dude. So McGruff used to actually hang on my block.
Okay.
He used to come up the street and hang with us. So
right.
You know, I mixed it up a little bit, but you know, I hooped mostly on St. Nick, so I didn't come down there a lot to play.
That's what's up. You ever play ball in high school or anything like that?
Bro, the crazy thing is I found out today I played 91, 92 for Martin Luther King, which we played Manhattan Center. Now, we talking 33 years ago, but I think we have in common Coach Dave. He coached me my senior year, and he hit some of my people saying, yo, Ray played against Cam in high school. Like, I remember Rich Parker from that team. I don't remember like a lot, but I was like, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
If it's really that close and dudes don't even, like, Harlem is a family, bro. It's a small network, man.
Yeah, Coach Dave, I went to Man Center, but Coach Dave actually coached me in the summertime. That was my coach. 91, 92, that's the year we actually went to the championship, so it's hard not to know what I was doing out there. That's crazy. You must not have been playing like that because I killed King that year, man. Elvis, Rico.
I was starter, captain.
Listen.
Like I said, it's the memory. You know, you was hooping, you was killing, it's cool. Like,
so you play with Rico and them?
Of course, Rico, Gerard.
Yeah. That's my guys, man. Shout out to, I haven't seen them in years, but shout out to Rico and everything. But this is a really small world. I had no idea you right up the block from me, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yo, so let me ask you, how'd you start with being a male dancer? How did that career become how did that become a choice for a career path for you?
Yo, really, man, off of some young man sucker shit, man. I broke up with my girlfriend, and the reason why we broke up was she started working in the strip club, right? So she working in the strip club, came home, like, yo, I'm meeting a bunch of dudes, like, I'm expendable, you know? And that young 21-year-old mind was on some, yo, I'll show her, I'm gonna get on the stripper shit too.
Right.
And I really went hard to try to get in the business. And actually when I got in it and you see all of the women and you can make some paper if you do it the right way,
right.
It was like best breakup ever, man. So, you know, 30 years long that hustle.
That's what's up. So how did the first time Puff and Cassie get in contact with you?
Yo, they called up like they was just hiring a regular party. Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote. She said she was going to be there with some friends. They gave me an address and the time to show up. And I'm thinking I'm showing up to do a party, just a regular little striptease for a birthday girl.
But like, that's a great answer. How do they find you? Like, is it ads, internet? Like, how do they even track somebody like you down?
Oh yeah, yo, all my marketing and stuff in my business is like SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up. So they just clicked on the website and called the number, and I just happened to pick up the phone. It wasn't. I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
Right.
I just picked up the phone.
Got you. Where did these? Well, let's say the first time. Where did these events usually happen at? Puff's house, Cassie's house, hotel. Like, where did these events happen at?
I was all super high end hotels.
Gotcha.
So I remember it was the Trump Tower, Essex House, the London Hotel, the Gramercy Hotel. There was another hotel, Central Park West. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but they were all along the lines of super high end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel. It was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like $30K a night, yo.
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel room looked like, you know that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down?
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy, man.
How often did they call you or book you?
Like I said in my I can't remember the exact amount of time. So I estimated between 8 and 12 times, but it would be like every few months, but it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would come Friday night, then they come back Saturday night, then come back Sunday. And then I might not be called for 3-4 months, and then they'll just pop up. So at the time, I thought they lived out of town. You know, they would. She would call me from a Cali number, so I assumed they were out of state. And she basically said, "Yo, can I hit you when we're in town?" Right. But it would be multiple nights in a row, but months in between.
Right. And if some of these questions that I asked you may seem repeated because you've been asked these same questions, I just want, we have a different audience from with the interviews you've done, and some people may not know the trial or what's happening. So some of these questions, I don't want to seem like it's redundant if you answer them 100 times this week. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on or that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out, to finally, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Nah, it never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her, and she had said at some point her husband's gonna walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. And eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area, of course, the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here. A whole year? Why? So let me, how long, okay, let's, I want to stick to that for a second, but how long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo, okay. I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was, right. But I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
You know, so then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite, and just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, but and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, "Yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs." And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just cutting on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television.
Wow. Cutting on the TV.
Wow. I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so 10 times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
The first time. And it was offered, yo, but I was so bugged out. Like this wasn't my hustle, right? So I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple and they want to do some voyeur sexy scene. So we did the like set up on the couches, the baby all rubbed down or whatever. And then at some point, Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him. And she came back like, yo, that was perfect. We happy. We good. And then she said to me, yo, do you want to finish? Meaning, you know, I guess, do I want to bust a nut out? You know what I'm saying? Right. And my first example, you know, I'm trying to be professional. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left, you know, but she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So I'm not, of course I'm down if you want to hit me back. But it was offered to me the first time, and I actually turned it down, yo. Trying to be on some professional.
Right. Was baby oil mandatory?
Mandatory, yo.
Yeah, he got a baby oil. That's just mandatory. I seen also in the transcripts that you said it was just supposed to be like a sexy scene, meaning that Puff would tell you to move the candles a certain way or tell her to move the candles a certain way for lighting purposes for his visual. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so like when I first got in there, she made it clear that this was a scene we were setting up for her husband.
Okay.
So, you know, it was like couches, all the furniture in the suite was covered in sheets. Like everything was covered in sheets. So it was like a single chair across from like a big sofa. And we were supposed to sit on there and kind of, I'm supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point we'll rub it on each other and we doing little like masturbating. I'm masturbating, she's masturbating, but you could tell it was an act.
Right.
Like we're like in character, like one of them corny Cinemax movies. You know what I'm saying? Like the sex scene in them little Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look like the part, you know, and then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candle lit, and he'll say like, yo, move a little bit, yo, move the candle, I can't really see, or move the body. And he would never talk to me, not one word to me, only to her. And if it's instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine, and it really went like that every single time.
So he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow. Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff would have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What was that like? Pause.
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's already weird knowing like a dude coming in the room, you know? But, you know, I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral.
Right.
So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil, and he's half the time he's beaten off and he's walking side to side. So it was definitely a difficult space to try to be in. But I ain't gonna front, bro. At the time, I'm greedy. I want this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario, and I'm trying to make it work. But it was tough, man. It was tough.
It was just a veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil, everything. So everything was just covering the face, super duper pause, and naked from the neck down every single time.
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It was a veil, just period, like the ones the Muslim women wear, so you don't see anything but the eyes. But I think at some point after like the year and change, and it was a while, he wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
I think they might have figured out. I saw the TV, and at some point he just changed to a Yankee fitted. So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew. Maybe he saw the TV on, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I probably left it, and I guess he figured out, homie figured it out. So he stopped wearing a veil, and he was just, like, rocker fitted.
Right. I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
Yeah, man. Every time, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this. So
what was being done with the Astroglide though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're going to step it up to cuckold.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he sound cuckoldish, man. Did Puff ever participate?
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room. Like I said in my testimony, the closest he got to actual action, like it was one time, all this stuff, almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her. Mm-hmm. So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we was while me and her was having sex. And we both was like, what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And, we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right. So the nigga basically, pardon me, I'm gathering information as we talk. Y'all in the bed, he's circling the room, takes out second hundred, just throw it on the bed.
Throw it on the bed.
Wow. It's crazy. Sorry about that. I was just thinking, what was the most money you made doing this with them?
Every single time I came, it was $1,200 or $2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So
so it would be $1,200, $2,000, $1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Got you. And it would last 2-3 days?
Yeah, 2-3 days, but not straight. Like a few hours, I'll go home, you'll come back again. A few hours, I'll go home, come back again. You know?
That nigga's on time. That nigga's on clockwork. That's a wild nigga, man. I also seen that you say Cassie said she felt comfortable with you. Did you take that as she liked you?
Not really. I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude, you know?
Right.
So I always took it as however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back, you know?
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like shit. Good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it from an enjoyment standpoint, not. Yeah.
So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Did Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Nah, it was strictly business. And honestly, man, I wasn't even trying to play that, get caught up in some type of fantasy. I know one of the other dudes got caught up in some fantasy of they could be together. I knew what it was, man.
Right.
She with a dude in $30,000 a night suites. Like I move, I can pull it off with chicks, but that's a tough act to follow. You know what I'm saying? So I saw it as an opportunity, man, and I was just trying to come through to, come up whatever way I could with that easy money, how I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good for your family? Let's stop the political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse, because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real, I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in. And I'm like, yo, did he just say, I wish I could penetrate him? Like, I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold up, wait, what did you just say? Like,
so basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay, you're saying?
Absolutely not. Bro.
Right. So therefore, you're saying that already, just to put everything into perspective, that you're there for this chicken to get this money. You don't know it's Puff this whole time. So you're already thinking like, okay, this nigga's being weird, whoever it is, and I got to keep an eye out for him because we don't know what type, in case he want to, if he get mad, if he want to join. I'm not with none of that. I'm here to bone your bitch like you paid me to do and stay the fuck out of it. But what you're saying is the paranoia intensified once you found out it was Puff, and you like, oh, hold on, now this shit done got to 10, because not only am I fucking this nigga girl, but it's Puff. So now you saying you hearing shit that you wasn't hearing, and now you can't really enjoy the pussy like you want to enjoy it. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I'm not intimately connected, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't think I got a real erection the entire time.
Right.
Like I was loading up on any pill, anything that I could take just to get there, because I could not connect.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was too paranoid, it was official paranoid, bro. Like,
Right.
Because I'm not used to being in that situation. And then it's like homie got on the veil and he butt naked. And then like I said, I find out it's Puff. And then it's the rumors. So real talk, I'm like, yo, I don't want this to go left.
Right.
So,
well, listen, man, we're going to get you some pink horsepower because it don't matter what the situation is. That joint work. We're going to, you from the block, we'll send you a case up there. Nah, you already, nigga, that ain't about nothing. Did you go raw ever?
Yo, bro, yeah, for real, bro. That same day when he threw the stack of hundreds,
right?
Like we were on the bed and I started out, I'm eating a box, right, and after you would tell it was like some excitement, some connection. So when I pop up, she's scooting towards me for the penetration, and she kind of looked at him, and he was like, "Yo, go ahead, have a good time." And I was wild reckless. I just
right.
It was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw. You repeatedly went.
That was, let's say that was the fourth time, and then it was every time to the last time.
Got you. Gotta go raw sometime. You gotta go raw and Cassie and be like that, my nigga. Some of my co-hosts, they got a couple questions for you, but I got one more question before they ask you a couple questions. We hear about 50's baby mom, Daphne, being involved in some of these things. Did you ever fuck Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mother?
Nah, every time I was called or involved in any way, it was only Cassie specifically.
All right, cool, man. Hey, yo, my man Larry, Sharay, you got a question for him? We get ready to wrap this up. Sharay, you've been great, man, and thank you for participating. A couple more questions before we get you out of here. And also, we want to talk about your book before you go as well.
I appreciate that.
Yo, what's good, fam? So my question is, you said on the first night, that she asked you if you wanted to continue, and you said no. So I'm asking is, she wanted to continue. Was Puff there? So basically I'm saying, did she want to do it without Puff?
So when she came back in the room and asked me, her actual words was, do you want to finish? Right? So I found out later, finish meant me busting a nut.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So she offered, but like I said, I just turned it down. And if I'm keeping it 100, part of the reason why I turned it down is because I was struggling to get my joint up and hold an erection anyway, because homie got on the veil. I don't know who it is. He's pacing back and forth. So I couldn't get in that zone anyway. So I turned it down. Obviously I'm trying to be professional or whatever, but at the same time, I don't think I could have finished if I wanted to.
But he wasn't in the room with you anymore.
He wasn't, but what I would assume what would have happened was she would have said, do I want to? And if I would have started, he would have walked back in.
All right, then I got two more. So the other one was, when he threw a stack of money on you, were you able to keep that money? Was that the most money that he threw on you? Was that like, well, you said it was a stack of hundreds? Like how like you said earlier, 1,200 to 2,000. Was it more than that, or was that the 1,200 to 2,000? Because when I think of a stack, I think of like 5,000, 10,000.
Nah, it wasn't a stack. It was, I believe it was 2,000. And honestly, I thought that was a day I was going to really make a lot of bread, because the 2,000 got thrown on the bed, was put to the side. And as soon as we finished, it was handed to me. So I was hoping then she was going to come, because he would come at the end of the night and pay me again, and that'd be an additional money. But that 2,000 ended up just being the money I got. So it wasn't like a super payday of a session. So I just pretty much got my money in advance,
I got you. My last question is, when all this kind of came about, there's this history now of Puff being really violent. Were you scared to testify? Are you scared of retribution? Are you was that an issue for you to go testify?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to consider, right? But look, what I understand is the details of what went on. Obviously, they're going to be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what happened in those encounters, and I got to testify to what happened. But the truth of the matter is I don't feel like I was biased or let's say, threw him under the bus, right? You know, none of my testimony is saying she was abused, like there was aggression, there was it was not consented. You know what I'm saying? She was under the influence of the drugs, because that's just not true, right? Like everything seemed in the right mind, everybody seemed cool. All my communications and everything with her was on point. So honestly, I thought me testifying my actual facts actually probably benefited to the defense. To this day, I'm still not exactly sure why the prosecution wanted me to testify. So I felt like as long as I go up there and say exactly what happened, again, there's going to be an embarrassing element to it. But I don't think I don't think my testimony seemed biased, as if I was trying to do anything other than telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not like framing things, you know what I'm saying, to go out of my way to put them in a bad light or put anybody in a light other than what the facts were.
Cool. And my other co-host, PT, got a couple questions?
Yeah, what's going on, family? The question I wanted to ask you was, when she first told you, in your first encounter, when she hit you and she told you it was for her husband, as you progressed and kept going with her after these dates, at any point did you think she enjoyed it as well as Puff or more than Puff?
So there was only one time where I can, I testified to it also, where it was clear to me that I thought she enjoyed it. And that was the first time we were at Raw and he threw the money and stuff like that. Because, you obviously, we fellas, we mess with chicks. You know the mannerisms when it's a connection and when it's not, right? So, but I could say that's the only time it was overtly, I thought, and this is my perspective, that she was enjoying it. The other times, it was clear it was acting. We were putting on a show. Not that she was against it, but, I'm not going to, go on no ego trip like, oh, she was loving it, she was loving me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get those vibes. We were putting on a show.
All right, second question. When he gave y'all the permission to go Raw the first time, right? Because you said it continued after that. Once you started going Raw repetitively, did he give you instructions where you had to nut at or you came in her?
Yeah, so I didn't get the instructions from him, but It was instructions from her, specifically. Every time I nutted, I had to nut in or around the outside of her box. So on her clit, on the lips, everything, and to that degree on the outside of her vagina. And that was clockwork. It had to be done like that every single time. And actually, it was kind of mandatory. The session could not be over unless I nutted, and I had to nut on the outside of her vagina.
You couldn't leave until that happened?
Yeah, that was mandatory. It was so that gotta happen for the session to be over.
And those instructions that she gave you, they came from him or they was from both of them or just her?
I mean, like I said, I only ever spoke to her. Mm-hmm. So the instructions came from her.
Okay.
Good. Y'all good? Yo, Ray, man. So before we get you out of here, tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, so my book came up in the trial because I talked about this story, the situation and their graphic. I didn't name no names. My book was actually written before it, but it's called In Search of Freezer Meat. I picked that name because I was in the Caribbean with a chick, and we was messing around in the water, and I got brick, and she reached down and touched my joint and said, "Yo, it's hard as freezer meat." So I kind of stuck with it, and it's about, as we get older, hooking guys up with the pink horsepower, and it's inevitable, right? As we get older, we start getting erection issues. So me being a stripper, being in this sexual light, and then getting erection issues.
Speak for yourself.
That was demoralizing for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? My whole flow was my sexuality. So I went on this quest to correct it. And the correction ended up being a penile implant, which is the best decision I ever made in my life. It sounds wild, but I'm telling you, if your joint ever completely stopped working, you'll consider it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of wrote a book to tell dudes that hit the end of that road, there's options. You know, most erectile dysfunction is mental. It's not even nothing wrong with you physically. And I basically wrote a book for dudes that are suffering or start to suffer. And it's a self-help book. Kind of gives you information based on funny stories. It's not like medical jargon. It's real funny, entertaining stories that give you solutions and remedies and what to do and what not to do to kind of get back on point. And, you know, it came up in the trial, so it's being clowned. Like it's I wrote it to be humorous, but it's real serious, useful information on there. People buying it. I hit like a #1 bestseller on Amazon. People writing me. I got dudes DMing me, like, because nobody wants to talk about it, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody taking a pill, everybody using some sort of enhancer, but nobody got a problem. So we know that's not the case. And I just decided, you know, I kind of put myself on blast, put it out there, but in a solid one at all. It was super unreliable. And that's emasculating to the next level.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. Since all this been going on, has the price went up? Has niggas been hitting you? Is it like, niggas, are you in demand right now? Like,
Yo, dude, as crazy as it sounds, man, like my DM is filled up with dudes like, yo, my wife, can I hire you? Like, it's for real. But my man, I ain't answering none of the messages, man. I just was investigated by the feds. Like, I'm good. I'm retired. I don't want no smoke, no problems. I ain't trying to get set up. I ain't trying to, dude, I'm good.
Nah, that's what's up. Yo, Ray, I really, really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like, whatever you still got, your book, everything you got going on, keep pushing. Don't let this minor setback fuck up what you got going on for the future. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck from another Harlem nigga, my nigga.
Man, I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for the opportunity.
Nah, anytime, man. Good luck to you and keep killing these bitches, nigga.
Oh, man, appreciate you, homie.
I love, bro. Yo, P, like, we gotta give the nigga credit for coming up here. A lot of niggas wouldn't even came up here, man. Pause. It's dangerous up here. Pause. It's not, because this is not a safe place.
That's a fact.
This is not a safe place, man. When we come back, we got my man Sen City on the line. We gonna get into more with Talk with Flea. We'll be right back after the break.
Man was in his room, texting, like he was the final boss of the pea pummeling. Bruve's thumbs were on demon time. Then she hit back. I'm 6'3" and built like a Amazon princess. Like a true man with no risk awareness. Every text had backshot bravado baked in. Fam thought it was delivery, but it was destiny. Caked up like a bakery. He opened the door. And saw cheeks so mad, they needed to be in an asylum. And right there, that's when he realised he'd fucked up. But fate wasn't done with him yet. See, I pulled up, gave Fam the potion, winked, and dipped one sip later. My man turned broken, stepped to Shorty, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "Prepare yourself, Queen. Because by the power of Grayskull, them cheeks about to get clapped something proper. Pink horsepower, unleash the stallion."
Yeah, we back, man. There's a lot of details. I don't know, man. Shit crazy, man.
You believe him?
I don't know what he got lied for. They called the feds was in his house. Yeah. Feds was in his house. To me, you know, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, it sound like he not saying everything that he want to say. It seemed like he trying to be politically correct, and he said, "Look, I don't want my car getting blown up. Right. I don't want my door getting kicked down." Yeah. That's the vibe I got from him. Yeah. So he's playing it very safe to be like, I'm not going, because I seen some of his other interviews, Nancy Grace, CNN. I made sure I knew what I was talking about before we interviewed him, and his demeanor's the same every video. Y'all not gonna get my car and house blown up. I don't care who's doing the interview.
The only thing I didn't believe was when he said for the 8-9 months, he didn't know that was.
Yeah, I'm not going for that.
Yeah, I was just like, yo, come on, man. 8 months, you didn't see. Right. You just come on. Yeah. That was the only thing I was like, ah.
Yeah, but then I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. If a nigga getting booked in these hotels, because he would seem like he's more impressed with the hotels and everything else.
Yeah.
But if a nigga getting booked, he said, and that's he didn't mention that, but I see another interview. He was saying that he was only expecting $200 each time he went there. So if he's getting $1,200, $2,000, you making like a 1,000% come up from what you originally want.
Yeah.
He might be like, I'm just gonna follow instructions. I ain't looking at niggas. I ain't looking to the left. I ain't looking to the right. I only wanted 200 and I'm leaving here with 2,000. Let me just follow instructions and shut the fuck up. That's the only reason I would say that, but I'm not disagreeing with you guys.
Yeah.
On line one right now, Knicks #1 fan. My nigga Sen City in the building, baby. Still got that blue and orange up. Still got that blue and orange up, man. I wish you would have called in a little earlier. I know I told you a certain time today because we had a guest, but I wish you could have chimed in. Did you hear any of the interview?
Yeah, man, it was wild.
It was. It was kind of wild, man. It was wild, man. It's wild, man. How you been though, man?
I'm good, man. People been wondering where we been. I keep telling them it ain't our fault, man.
Yeah, listen, man, let me tell you something. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with our fans because they have been asking, where have we been with Talk with Flea? For the last 3 weeks, I've been working on something big, pause, maybe longer than that, for Talk with Flea. And not saying it was hindering the episodes, but I was just trying to make a splash, pause, and deliver this news to y'all. And hopefully this week I can deliver the news, but I don't want y'all to think that we slacking and we not doing what we supposed to do. I was just trying to wait on this announcement. But at the end of the day, we can't wait. The fans want to know what's going on. So that's why we here back to get to do what we got to do. And the announcements will come later. We'll get to the announcements later, man. But what's good, Sen? How you feel about them Knicks? They said, you know what they told me? They said, real quick though, you know what they told me? They said Knicks in 9. Knicks in 9, baby.
Listen, hold on, man. Like we still, it was a success, man. All right. Nobody expected. I heard what Stephen A. said this morning. Nobody said that we was gonna make it past Boston. We beat the defending champs, and then we moved on. We lost the game by luck. By a jump shot, by luck, and then we got our coach the rest of the series. It's okay. We're gonna fix that, and we're gonna move on.
Well, listen. Do you ever heard of the saying "luck is the residue of design"?
No, I never heard that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes luck is the residue of design. Let me explain what that means to you. That means you go to all your practices. You work out. You run your plays. You hit your jump shots. You take your foul shots. You do your drills. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of luck because the other team or the other person been doing just what you've been doing. So it takes a little bit of luck sometimes to win the matchup, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, boxing, swimming. Luck is the residue of design. And that's what happened in that first game that you're talking about. But you talk about Stephen A. Smith saying what he said, and I seen that episode, but you don't want to talk about what Jay Will said, huh? You just want to skip over what Jay Will said and go straight to what Stephen A. Smith said.
Because he's a Knick basher.
Okay.
Just like you.
I'm not a Knick basher. I water paraphernalia.
Yeah, you got all kind of Knick shit for me. Just leave it alone. I'm coming to Vegas and I'm going to get it. Along with the big announcement and everything, being that, you're going to look out for all your friends and all that. I'm coming to Vegas to get my box. Leave it alone. No more Knick bash.
I just gave Nick a brand new Knick hat I didn't want anymore. Nick has one. I got to get out of my house quick. I can't have that shit my house giving me.
I can't hear no more.
Yo, 1 2 1 2. You can hear me?
I'm lying. I can't hear, but that was some bullshit. I
okay.
Hear no more Knick bashing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know what?
No more Knick bashing.
It's not probably. By the time you get it, Nick, I have everything. I don't want it in my house. You discuss. Maybe Nick will hold it for you. I don't want this shit in my house, man. It's making shit. My fucking AC went out, all type of shit. I got to get sage before I go home this morning. I'm going to go grab some sage and sage the shit out. Shit shouldn't have been in my crib this long, man.
That was our fault.
Yeah. What's good, man? What we got going on today, man? Look, it's over, man, with the heli. with the heli, man. They said it's the holla band now, Holly band, man. That's what I heard, man. Holla band, man.
Nicknames and all that. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, stop.
I ain't gonna dwell on it, man. I actually have nothing else to say about it. I'll let you do the talking, man.
Thank you. Just give me my Nick fur and that's it. You know, yo, I want to ask you a couple of questions, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here.
Yo, the thing that's going on with Remy and Pap and Offset and Cardi B, would you go public with another relationship?
Never. I never go public with another relationship. Me personally, because it don't matter to me, my personal opinion. It don't matter if the nigga is 2,000,000% right. Let me just use real numbers. It don't matter if the nigga was 99.1% right. That 0.9%, they gonna find shit, the females. But you don't realize what he did. And he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and this. And we in a world where females are sticking together. I mean, as they should. As a society, we should all stick together. But it's worse on niggas, man. Pat was the poster child for black love. He was the poster child. He could do no wrong. Remy was in jail. He was going to see her. They talk about one time he tried to sneak out with a key and all type of shit, bringing a fool, all type of shit. And he was the poster child for black love. And like I said, I told this on Talk with Flea. I'm not taking nobody's side. Pap or Remy, they're both my friends. I don't have a dog in the fight. I love them both equally. But I'm just trying to say, when it comes to black women sticking together, or not just black women, females sticking together, I seen people saying, Pap did this or Pap did that. And I'm like, maybe I'm just late. And like I said, I don't want Remy coming at me. I don't want no beef, sis. But I was just sitting there saying, I don't know what Pap did. Every time I look up, Pap doing Pap shit and love and support and everything else. So then when they start beefing, I guess you got to pick a side. And I seen a few people say, nah, but you don't know what Pap did. And I'm like, what did he do? I don't know. I didn't see, I heard Remy accuse him of cheating and everything else, but I never seen anything publicly. And I don't know behind the scenes. But to answer your question, Sen, no, I'm never going public with another relationship, even the Cardi B shit, because you know what happens? What happens is that we're watching it with both the relationships you said. The other person, me, I never fell into that, but I'm just saying the other person feels the need to rush to show that they got better than the last person. So you sit there and you see, and I'm not saying that it's not genuine love or they don't genuinely like the person, whatever, but all of a sudden it's love's in the air pictures with Pap and Clarissa. He got the Mitch, she's punching him. And I believe Pap, because Pap to me, even if he lying, he got me fooled. I think he's a good ass nigga when it comes to these girls. I remember Larry thought this was all a setup 2 years ago, year or two ago. You was like, man, they doing this for the clicks. Shit done hit the fan now. But Pap's a good nigga to me. And like I said, if he's not, then I'm totally fooled. But now you see him with Clarissa. It may have took a while. You see Remy with the battle rapper. They out all these pictures hugged up, dog baby puppy eyes in each other's eyes. It's wild. Next thing you see Offset, 3, 4, 5 bitches in the joint saying he's having fun. But then you see Cardi B everywhere with Stephon Diggs. It's like, damn, this shit was just over unless, sometimes you're mentally out of a relationship too. And the fans or your fans, these people fans don't know it. But it just seems quick to the audience. You're like, damn, niggas in love that quick? But to me, it's just trying to show you did better than the last person. But no, to answer your question, no, I wouldn't go public again.
Yeah, it looked like Pap was like in the lead. That live that he did, like, cause Pap don't talk, so
right.
It looked like he was in the lead, and then Remy did her live, and then it looked like they was about even, cause niggas was like, oh shit, that is true, and so I just wanted to know if you would ever go public again with a relationship. You said no, so
nah,
it's crazy out here, man.
Well, if a bitch got more money than me, yeah. Yeah. Like, what up, baby? Huh? Hit up, baby. Yeah, I definitely. It gotta make sense. But to be honest, it's not worth it. It's not worth it because too many people be in your business, and then when it end, it's almost like pick a side, and it shouldn't have to be like that. Sometimes it may end amicably, where everybody's cool with it, but they still be like, no, you should have did this, should have did that. So no, the answer is no.
All right, but back to the Diddy trial. Let me ask you a question. Even if I think he's gonna beat it, like I mean, I guess it would be time served for getting caught with. To me, from what I know about the guns and the drugs, maybe time served. I don't know. I think he's gonna beat it because it's just some freaky shit. It sounds like a bunch of freaky shit to me. But if he beats it and the trial and come home, how you think people gonna accept him? Is niggas still going to puff parties? Is niggas still gonna do music with him? Like, how do you think people? You know what I mean? Like, because even though he's not guilty, you're still guilty in niggas' eyes. So
yeah, in public perception.
Yeah. So how you think it? How you think it's gonna be for him? Or should he just take all that money and just go somewhere and just never come back? What you think?
I think he's gonna have to make new friends. And I don't think it'll be hard making new friends. But you got to think about, let's just use certain people, for example, right? You think Jay's going to want to hang out with him? Beyonce ain't letting Jay go over there. My opinion. I don't know this for a fact. You think that Ciroc will want to do business with him again? Because like you said, even if he's innocent, the shit that we heard that definitely happened sound freaky and nasty. And sometimes people may not want that around their spouse, talking about if you have a significant other, like let's say if you were one of Diddy niggas and you got a wife, like, yo, you ain't going back over there. I ain't know all that was going on. If you lucky you ain't caught up, nigga, fuck is you doing over there? Then you got other people that you may been doing business with, pardon me, and they be like, nah, we fuck with you, but we heard about the hijab mask and all that. We can't rock like that with the hijab naked from the neck down and all that. You know what I'm saying? That walking around watching your girl bone with Astroglide in your hand, our brand doesn't support that. So to me, my personal opinion is he should have a shitload of money left over if he beats this thing. And Puff to me is one of them niggas that can eventually figure it out. And in the beginning, if he won't have his original niggas that he been fucking with before this case started. But he'll have somebody that needs an opportunity. Somebody who's willing to say, I don't care about that shit. The jury said you not guilty. Let's get to this money. And Puff seems like one of them hustlers that's going to get back on his feet. Then eventually what'll happen is, if he does get back on his feet, gets one of them $250,000 deals, $500 million deals, all the old friends will double back eventually. Fuck you been, nigga. Fuck is it, nigga? Nah, after you got out the line and chopping, fuck is happening, nigga? And I think that's how it'll go if he beats this situation.
All right, I'm gonna use you for instance, like, say, like, Puff driving and see you, because y'all was, like, y'all was cool before I seen him on the boat party. You know what I mean? He had his girlfriend and he came to the boat party or whatever. So say like he see you and want to get a little video for Instagram, like, yo, I'm with my nigga Killer or whatever. Like, is your attitude different? Like, how does this work? I don't know how this works.
I look, total straight up in there. I never had a really great relationship with Puff. I'm not saying good or bad. That doesn't mean we just never really hung out. Even when Mace was signed to Bad Boy, I never really was around Puff that much. Even when you seen him on the halftime show on It Is What It Is, when his boat came my boat. The real reason that we met up is because, first of all, I asked Mace if we should meet because I'm not going to do anything to damage my friendship with Mace just to go have a meeting with Puff. My friendship with Mace means way more to me to have my brother back in my life than going to talk to Puff. So I had talked to Mace about doing this first. But the reason we met was, we're not putting Mace business out there, and nothing personal. It was business because Mace wanted his publishing back, but we talked about that. He wanted, when he was with Revolt, he wanted to make a deal, or he had a deal on the table for It Is What It Is. And I went to meet him, and he came, we was on a boat, and we talked about what the deal would be for It Is What It Is. But the money me and Mace was requesting, they couldn't come up with that kind of money. So that's the reason you seen us all on the boat that time. It was more of a business meeting. But you know, my business meetings contain strippers sometimes. And that's how that went. But I don't have nothing bad against Puff. I don't have nothing negative to say about him. I don't really know him that well, but every time we seen each other, it was nothing but respect. But as far as him wanting to take a picture, son, if he's innocent, fine, let's take a picture. I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting caught up on all that. What a nigga did. You got O.J. Simpson, God bless the dead, Uncle O, guilty in public perception for 30 years.
Facts.
We put that nigga on the show, nigga. The jury said you not guilty, man. We not dragging this. Let everybody else drag it. If the jury say you not guilty, nigga, let's rock out.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, if a nigga not guilty, and this is our system in America, go to court, judge-related trial or jury-related trial, and niggas innocent, and then America get mad at the system. But I'm not judging niggas who's not guilty in a court of law and holding them hostage for the rest of their life.
Oh, okay. Speaking of Puff and Bad Boy and everything, a lot of people don't know, or they do know, Biggie Smalls discovered you. I mean, Mace brought you to Big, and then you rap for Big for, like you said, about 10, 15 minutes or whatever, while he was laid up in the bed with some bitches, which is super fly to me.
Yeah.
I want to put you on the spot. Do you remember one of the rhymes that you said for Big to get your deal? And could we get like 8 bars of that rhyme? Do you remember any of the rhymes?
You should have asked me this previously. I really have no idea. During that time, to be totally honest with you, and you can ask Duke the God, I used to have rhymes folded up in my pocket like 15 pages and just folded up, and they be like, yo, you got rhymes? And I'm not for Biggie, my shit was memorized, but I'm talking about I would have a pen and paper and write rhymes all the time and have them shits in my pocket, and during my downtime I would read them and just memorize them all day. But it was like a thing with niggas, and they be like, Cam, I bet you ain't got no rhymes in your pocket, and I pull out mad papers of rhymes on it. That's how serious I was taking the craft. But I can't remember any of the rhymes because I was just in the zone. Like he was in the middle of making an album, and any beat he threw on, I just rapped to it. It's kind of like, for instance, right? You know, for people that don't know, it's the first DJ Clue tape I did with Mace and Cardi and Noriega, Amon Thug and Tragedy. That was like, you know, that was the first DJ Clue tape I ever did. And Clue, for those that don't know, Clue was mixtapes. If you was on there, you was lit. Clue wasn't just letting anybody on there. You get Nas when he the hottest, Jay-Z's when he's the hottest, Prodigy. Everybody doing DJ Clue mixtape. So when we doing this song, if y'all ever want to Google, it's called, I don't know what it's called, but you type in me, Mason, Cardi, and it'll pop up or whatever.
So we pack trash, you smoke weed inside a gas mask, running church, crash mad, black rags, slave, really badass, get your back splash, act ass, in the fast cash, rally up, stash clash.
So the way it kind of went, it was kind of like Queens against Harlem on that song, because there was 3 Queens niggas and 3 Harlem niggas. And Mace wanted me to do a particular rhyme when we got there. And I was like, all right, cool, that's not a problem. I'll knock that one out. So Mace got on first, and then this guy named Amon Thug came on, and Mace shit was tough. To me, Mace had probably, I ain't gonna say better than me, but his shit was, I like this shit. I listen to this shit, like that rhyme he said at least 6 times a year. He killed that. Because I remember us driving there and him actually thinking about it in his head. He didn't write that shit down or nothing. He actually wrote that shit in his brain on the way to the studio and did that shit in one take. And I was like very impressed. You know, he wrote, we was in the car just listening to the beat and one take, he killed it. Me, I had a bunch of rhymes, so I already knew I would say one of the rhymes I had. Make a long story short, Mace went first, then Amon Thug went, and it seemed like, not saying it was dissing Mace, But it seemed like he was saying, he got the money, I got the long dick, make you feel it in your tummy. It seemed like niggas was doing a little bit of shots because Mace was up. Mace was fly, he was getting money. It was his time. Then Cardi went for Harlem. Cardi shit was cool. This shit was some smooth shit. Then Nori came on, and Nori shit was hard. Nori came on some hard shit. So the nigga Mace, when Nori was rapping, he pulled me to the side. He's like, yo, he said, pull the clack clack rhyme out. Niggas acting crazy. So I was like, you want that one? He's like, yeah. So that rhyme I spit, that wasn't even for that. Mace wanted me to use something else, but he was like, dump on these niggas, pause, because it seemed like Cardi and Mace was on some pretty shit and Nori and Amon Thug was on some hard shit, and Mace wanted to let niggas know, oh, you think we ain't got none of that with us, niggas? You crazy? And I dumped on niggas, pause. Not saying, no beef or nothing, because I'm my niggas, but kind of dumped on niggas. I let like 100 clip off on them niggas, man. And more of the story is I always kept rhymes and I had shit always in the back of my head for any situation, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that went.
I looked at it as, oh, he gonna remember some, because those are the rhymes that helped change his life. And from what like Gene Deal says, like Big was real impressed with those rhymes or whatever, because he had plans on putting you down with the Commission, which is Jay-Z and I think Charlie Baltimore. Gene Deal was saying he had plans for you. So those are the rhymes that change your life, and being that you always remember everything, or say you do, and know numbers just off the top of your head, like you a scientist or something. Like, I thought you remember one of the rhymes that changed your life.
Yeah,
so you don't remember. Yeah,
knowing numbers is more like a mathematician, not scientist, though. Just so that you know that. But yeah, I don't remember. Do you know what's crazy? I remember my elementary school graduation speech, and that was a rhyme. That's 6th grade, and I remember that. But I don't know. The reason why maybe I don't remember it, because it wasn't that smooth of a transition. Even though Biggie wanted to sign me and everything else, I didn't actually sign with Entertainment until Big died. It wasn't like I left Big House and the deal was the next week. It might have been months or maybe a year later until I bumped in, maybe longer than that, because I bumped into at the Rest in Peace Biggie video. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, nigga, I'm the nigga that Big wanted to sign. My nigga remember. He's like, oh yeah, he did tell me that. And that's how me and got in contact. So I didn't even really get a deal until Big was already gone.
Oh, okay. Speaking of, you just described a whole freestyle session or whatever. Me and British was talking earlier, and it's a question I had for a while now. Why do you think New York artists aren't united, but you see Atlanta artists, they unite, they get money together. And listen, you're a part of the problem because you're New York. And I guess, I don't know if it's arrogance or whatever, but New York artists are not united. But when you go anywhere else, they united, they tour together, they get money, they have, families, or everybody know each other. Why is it different up here?
I'm a product of my environment. We'll start there. I don't, I'm from Lenox Avenue. I don't even go up to 8th Avenue. Niggas like, what you doing up there? What you going down? That's how we was raised. You get what I'm saying? If you from 140th, I didn't make the rules. Niggas, look, let me tell you something. I'll give you an example. Somebody would be on Lenox Avenue. I don't even use avenues. Niggas on 140th Street, not my era, would be beefing with niggas on 137th Street. It's 3 blocks. How you really beefing with niggas down there? Y'all niggas you got to come outside. It's not like out of town when you're in the city. 3 blocks is literally a 90-second walk, just about. 2-minute walk. So it's just product of the environment. But to answer your question, to be honest with you, when you say Atlanta, right, and I know it's different parts of Atlanta or the South period in general, New York, and shout out to Uncle Murder, he kind of brought this to my attention when he was up here with Fifth that time. And he said, New York can't even say, because Billy's talking about West Coast sticking together. And we were saying how New York can't even stick together in New York because we don't even say New York. We say Harlem. We say Brooklyn. We say Queens. We say Long Island. The thing about it is our boroughs are bigger than some cities. So when you got a borough with 8 million niggas in one borough, or however many niggas is in Manhattan, and then you got to deal with the Bronx or whatever, you be like, yo, them niggas up there, that's the Bronx, so that's the Queens niggas, or the Queens niggas, but that's some Harlem niggas. Because our boroughs is bigger than some cities. And my opinion is everybody's in competition. It's not easy to get attention when it's a million niggas doing the same thing you doing. What are you going to do to be outside the box of everybody starting to do the same thing you're doing? It's like I said this one time about the Baby, the rapper. Shout out to the Baby, that's my nigga too. One time he was at South by Southwest before he was known, and he was out there with a pamper on. And niggas like, who is this nigga with the pamper on? You know what I'm saying? Da 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 da. Niggas like, he wildin', but then it gives you attention to listen to his music, and you be like, oh, this nigga nice. Oh, he all right. I liked it. Oh, he killed a nigga. He shot a nigga too. Oh, get the fuck out. This nigga nice and tough. Then niggas tell him in Atlanta, yo, check-in. I don't do the check-in. He go in the jewelry in the Louis Vuitton store, beat a nigga up, whatever. So now you got attention. And you like, oh, this nigga got an actual life. I ain't seen him in the pamper since. He needed to get your attention so that you could pay attention to what he's saying lyrically. Okay, now that I got niggas' attention, I could do what I really wanted to do. And it's hard to get attention when everybody is trying to do the same thing in New York. Atlanta, I heard 2 Chainz talk about it before. He said, you know what y'all New York niggas' problem is? Not to me, I heard him do an interview. He said, us in Atlanta, if Tip need a feature, he doing it tonight. Gucci Man need a feature, I'm doing it tonight. Blah, blah, blah. I talk to New York niggas, y'all hit me back next week. Hit me back in 2 weeks, I got you. This, that, and the third. And then by that time comes, you done forgot about it. Then he hitting, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas in Atlanta jump on it, pause immediately if they fuck with you, and they get shit done. New York, we prolong. Now, over the years, we've been seeing niggas beef in the South. No, it was a time where it was all kumbaya, but we've seen beef in the South. We seen niggas be mad at one person and mad at another. And it isn't like as much kumbaya as it used to be, but I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I just always, I wasn't jealous, but I envied how they treat each other down there versus how we treat each other up here. I know we running out of time, but I got to get this question in. I got about 100 questions for you, but let me get this question in.
Yeah, it's the last question because we got to get ready to wrap, but we'll be back again next week, 100% people, but go ahead.
All right, you said something a little bit in a song about it. Why didn't you? Matter of fact, where were you when you found out you wasn't going on the Rock the Mic tour, and what was your reaction and everything? Who told you? Like, we want to know more about that.
I don't remember exactly, but I do remember it was a big deal for us not to go because that just let us know that you guys are on the outside. Talking about Rockefeller. So just so for the audience that doesn't know what Sen's talking about, when I was signed with Rockefeller, it was a big Rock the Mic tour with Jay-Z and everybody from Rockefeller, but myself and the Diplomats were not invited even though we had a hit record, or I don't remember the timing of it, platinum album, #1 single, whatever it is, we was lit. And that just let us know that, nigga, y'all niggas is the stepchildren at this label, nigga. Y'all niggas ain't going no motherfucking place. So I don't remember exactly who told us we're not going or we wasn't going. It wasn't even about telling us not going. We never even was talked to about it. And we didn't really care. We wasn't really like, yo, fuck is going on, this, that, and the third. Because at this point when the Rock the Mic tour was going on, we already kind of established ourselves as the Diplomats, or Cam was about to go platinum, or whatever the case may be. So we didn't make a big deal out of it, but it did make it be like, word? Niggas ain't fucking with niggas? I ain't bet. Say no more. It is what it is. No pun intended. But that was just our attitude about it. Like, we didn't throw no tantrum. We ain't throw no fit because at that particular time, we knew we had the #1 record at Def Jam, not just Rockefeller at the moment. We knew that nobody outside of Jay-Z went platinum that fast. Even if somebody else did, Bleak or whoever, this is before pre-Kanye, we knew that nobody else went platinum as fast as we went. So we knew it was, and we knew we had the streets on fire with the Diplomat mixtape. So we knew what it was from there. The crazy shit was about that is, it was hilarious because this is the time I was in Ohio a lot. So I remember they came to Columbus, Ohio to rock the mic tour. You know, we there like 40 deep at the tour. But we wasn't there to start no trouble. We was actually there just to watch the show, me and my niggas and they girls and everything else at the time. And I remember so I'm like, let me go start creeping a little bit backstage and all that. I ain't get all the way backstage, but I was like just lurking, me and Zeke. And I seen Just Blaze and he looked like he seen a ghost. He's like, Cam, what you doing here? I'm getting it, nigga. That's what I'm doing out here. I'm getting it, nigga. The music shit cool, but I'm getting it. What you doing, flunky? Fucking out here, tapping buttons, tap dancing ass nigga. I didn't say all that, but that's my attitude when I seen a nigga. Yeah, you never know where I'm at, nigga. You ain't never expect to see me in no Columbus. Or he see me like, everything good? So everything's perfectly fine. Nigga just made a U-turn and darted backstage, I guess to alert everybody that we was in the crowd and all that shit. But I thought that was hilarious. But I don't know, nobody actually told us that we wasn't going.
I'd have been pissed. I mean, new tour, like we saw backstage, everybody saw backstage. Yeah. So that was like kind of like the next big tour that was coming up for as far as Rockefeller.
Right, so but the thing about it was for me, not to cut you off, the thing about it for me is that probably outside of Jay-Z, nobody made more money than me that day. I ain't have to do a show or nothing, nigga. I don't care who you was. Nobody made more money than me that day besides Jay-Z, nigga. And the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. So I was cool.
Now we talking.
I'm just saying I wasn't that mad. I really wasn't, man. Word, man.
So, I mean, if we got to wrap up, you promised to give us the movie titles to describe your ex. You figured one out?
Nah, man, I'm gonna keep it on. I'm gonna have it next week. The Punisher shit threw me all the way the fuck off today. I ain't gonna hold you.
Threw me off too.
Yeah, it threw me off a little bit, but I'm gonna answer that for you next week. But those is one of the questions, Sins, because for the audience, I don't like to know what Sins gonna ask me, so you could give me the raw, uncut answers. Like I ain't preparing for these answers, nothing. But those is one of them questions you gotta give me some time, so I could be like, yeah, what movie this bitch remind me of? So make sure you hit me with that question before we film again next week, nigga.
Well, we want that, and we want at least 6 or 8 bars of some of the rhymes that changed your life that you spent.
I ain't gonna remember that. I can give you 6, 8 bars right now, but it ain't gonna be them. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's hear something.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
All right. Yeah.
You got 8 bars? Let's go 8-8. Let's go 8-8 right now. Let's do it.
I'm waiting on you.
Why would I go first? I'm the A side.
All right. Show's over.
Yeah, nigga. Put this nigga on the spot now. Now show over, man. Yeah, I'm always ready. I told you, I may not got them notebooks in my pocket. Got this. I always writing something, nigga. I always got something in the stash for something. Any given Sunday, nigga. Word.
I'm glad you got me.
Yeah, you got 8. I definitely got 8. You ready?
No.
All right. I call you later, nigga. Yo, everybody out there, man. We appreciate y'all. Like I said, I'm sorry for the delay of the show. Will be no more delays though, but I will have a big announcement at the end of the week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure y'all like and also hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you We appreciate you right here on Talk with Flea. We'll see y'all next week.